What's up, guys? Appreciate you watching this episode of RSG, man. If you may not know, we have just started our Discord channel, man. If you want to be able to sit down with us, have some conversations, have some banter back and forth, come see us.
We have an active channel where you guys can talk with Justin and I regularly, and we have race predictions.
And occasionally on Sunday, you'll be able to speak to Rod and I personally, and also we'll have guests.
And when we drop any announcements or merch, that'll be the first place you can see it.
And we'll also have some lucky fans be able to ask some questions to our guests. So hit the link in the bio.
Justin Gatlin is the latest in a long line of sprint sensations to emerge from the USA.
Gatlin got a good start. Look at this man coming through now. Gatlin. What a fantastic performance from Gatlin. It's all about Gatlin.
Ultimate goal is to be one of the best sprinters in history.
And what a fantastic performance from Gatlin, and look at the time.
It's the American leading the Jamaican at the moment.
He knows he is the world champion.
Justin Gatlin is the world champion here in London.
What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Ready, Set, Go. We in the building, and you see who I'm rolling with. Y'all know, man, who I be with. It's my boy right there. It's the bearded wonder, the Green.
What's up, y'all? What's up, man? It's glad to be here on another week of great track and field, all the way from high school nationals all the way up to diamond leagues and meets all over the world, man. We got a few things we're gonna cover in our episode today, man. But I want to get to our Discord, man. We have a Discord going. We probably close to 400 people in our Discord. We love that you guys are having conversations in there. We like if you add us, ask us questions, man. We'll definitely try to get back to you as soon as possible. But there was a question in Discord that I would want to pose to you, Mr. Gatlin.
Who, me?
Yes. Okay. The question was asked when I looked in there. They was asking, if you were to run 100 right now, do you think you could sub 10 seconds?
Could I sub 10 today? Are we talking about theoretically today?
Let's even say theoretically, if you trained for it a little bit. At 43 years old, could Justin Gatlin sub 10 seconds? You would have the record over our good friend Kim Collins, who has, I think, 996 at 40 years old.
Yeah, give me a little prep time. I'm Batman right now, so Kim Collins is 993 actually. So hats off to Kim. And actually, when I went out there and ran my time when I was in my 30s, 39, my last race when I was like 39, 40 years old, Kim texted me and was like, "Thank you so much for not breaking my record. happy retirement."
Hey.
So I think, I think that if you give me enough prep time, you know I'm gonna start doing that. I'm gonna get ready. I'm making an announcement right now on the show. I'm gonna start training. It's Sunday. I'm gonna start training on Monday. So we're going to be ready for the 40. We're going to be ready for these street races against speed. We're going to be ready against Tyreek if he says something. We're going to be ready to go after the record, Kim Collins record if it needs to be. I am going to be the masters of master.
You know, you said speed and Tyreek, right? I wouldn't say so much speed. Speed just got beat the other day by a random guy, right? He was racing for 5K. He got beat twice. He should have maintained his stock and just be racing celebrities and real track guys. He shouldn't have did that. 2, if you went to a race, that remind me of like Rocky 5, Rocky Balboa. He all retired and Tommy Gunn. I'd be like, come on, old man, show me you can ride.
Listen, but and here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is that if it'll be a situation where it'd be not the same for Noah. Everyone says it'll be a lose-lose situation for Noah because if Noah beat Tyreek, people would be like, oh, Noah should have won. He's the Olympic gold medalist right now. He is, quote unquote, the fastest man right now, right? So right. I'm being retired. I'm pretty much, I'm cranking up that hill, dog. I'm cranking up that hill. So if I go out there and win, I'm going to show that elite athletes can stay elite for a very long time, you know? And if he wins, I'm just an old dude.
Yeah, this is true. But I've seen you train after 40. I would tell anybody who would tread lightly. Don't take it for a joke. I can tell you that.
Come on, man. Why
Isn't
you are messing up my element of surprise, bro?
This is true. This is true.
But they'll see the training montage soon.
But to the case, we at the bar. You and I, we throwing them back. So we throwing them tequila drinks back. So I don't know.
Look, I'm gonna put a little electrolytes in my tequila, man. So
you're gonna get 0 calorie tequila.
0 calorie tequila with some electrolytes in there.
All right, man. Shoot, that's dope. The chat gonna hold you to that, man. Everybody gonna look out. You know, we seeing Usain Bolt getting down. Now you gonna be getting down. I think Asafa's still getting down, man. I seen Asafa, some of his videos of Asafa's still in shape. All right, so Asafa get into the chat too, man. Shoot, if they want, we can still put on this big show if everybody up to it, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, every time I see Asafa post some kind of training montage, I immediately drop down and do 50 push-ups. I'm like, hold on, bro. Let me get right. Let me get back to my grind real quick.
That just be like Bolt. I remember a Bolt interview. He's like, what are these guys training for?
Exactly. But then now you see him out there training. He got a little step. Look, you see his pop step out. He looked like Bolt when Bolt was out there moving off that line. Now I'm just saying.
And he lost weight. He looks a lot lighter from when we saw him last.
He lost weight. He's lighter. And you remember he just had Achilles injury not too long ago. So that means he is training. He's out there training in some form or some way.
Definitely, man. What we gonna get into today, man? Where we want to start? We want to start with.
I'll let you pick. This time. I did the last one.
All right, man. We gonna start off with Paris Diamond League. Man, we gonna start off with Paulino. Okay. Like I said, man, Paulino started the season on a regular date. Didn't start early for the Grand Slam track. I don't think she did. I think she started at a regular time, you know, that she usually starts training. She didn't adjust anything for Grand Slam track because it was early. You know what I mean? Now we're starting to see Paulino start to come around. And that Paris Diamond League, we watch her go down and take down her own meet record of 49.12. She ran 48.81. Beating Salwa Nassar at 48.85. Now, what I want you to look at in this race was a fast behind race. Now, if you remember me talking back, I talked about Lynn Irby Jackson running 50 point. She actually ran 49, but 49 was only enough to get her fourth. You know what I mean? We had Real Martina run 49.83. Fifth place was 49.96 by Amber Mining. This could have been an Olympic final, boy. This was a fast behind 400 meters that they put on in Paris. Yeah, I guess Paulino went back and was like, oh yeah, I want my gold medal there. I'll just show up again and, you know, put some little sprinkles on my spikes and let's go.
Listen, Paulino is a dog. Shouts out to all the ladies in this race because that was truly a fast race. And it actually has me thinking now, like, the rivalry between Paulino and Nassar, like, it's a close race, bro. And, you know, in the past, we've had athletes across the board, not just women's 400, but athletes across the board where their rivals will be on that year, may not be on that year, but these ladies are usually on. And they are fighting like it is a finals. Every 400, you see them against each other. So I would like to say, like, this is probably the most competitive duel between athletes in our sport right now. These two go head to head and they drop times like it's their last time they ever going to run, bro. You know what I mean? Do you feel that way when you look at them run?
No, I do. But I just remember Salwa Nassar from when she was running against Shanae
Miller-Weibo.
Yes. And I remember one meet, she said in her interview, if the Olympic champion, Shanae Miller-Weibo, is going to beat me, she's going to have to run a PB. And that was exactly the case. Shanae had to run 48 mid to beat Salwa Nassar. And it was a personal best for her. Like, Salwa is If Paulino is a dog, she a dog in chasing. She does not play around. And to be so itty bitty, like she's very small in stature, but I mean, she run her heart out of her chest, man. She takes that first 200 out so fast. I'll be like, boy, I don't know if she can hold that.
But listen, running 48.85, meaning she's holding that, right?
100%.
I think that's what separates Paulino from Anasa is their race strategies. They have different race strategies. And right now, both of them are coming off the Grand Slam, and probably Nasser's getting more rest because the last couple of 400 she's ran wasn't the best that she's ran. And that's crazy for me to say because they still were 49s. You know what I mean? So in the next couple of months, I think that you're going to see both ladies kind of like finding their peak and kind of finding their groove and reaching another level of 48s, which is going to be very shocking.
Especially Paulino, man. Like, we what? We like maybe like almost 2 months away from Worlds.
Yeah.
And they running 48.8 now. I mean, who knows? Like what we could see at Worlds. But these competitions and the way some of these athletes are running, I think Worlds is going to be something people want to witness. I think a lot of amazing things is going to happen at Worlds, or it could be either or. The people's legs be dead because it's that late, but I don't think so. I think this is going to be one of the most exciting world championships since the one after the pandemic, 2019. So
I agree 100%. And then you have these two athletes who don't have a rigorous process to make their teams. Their nationals aren't going to be highly competitive for them. So it's going to be mostly like a sparring practice in a way. So they're going to be able to preserve their energy. They're going to be able to go out there and be sharp for Worlds and not have to go out there and peak twice like you find a lot of Americans who have to peak twice. So they're dangerous. They are dangerous individuals when they get to that World Championship.
100%, man. Shouts out to Queen Paulino. I always call her Queen Paulino. I don't know if she know. I know she's learning English. I call her Queen Paulino, and she's like, yes. I don't know if she understood me when she saw, but I call her Queen Paulino, man. She handling business out there, man.
Somebody's gonna dub this and put it in Spanish, and she gonna hear you say it.
That's what we need to do.
We need to put our stuff in Spanish, man.
We do. I seen T was talking to her when they was at Miami Grand Slam, and she said she's learning English. So she's trying to learn as much English as she can. So, you know, that's a good deal for her. I think it'll be good for her.
Yeah.
Shoot. 400 meters. We're going to stay on that 400 meter, man. We're going to go on to the 400 meter hurdles with Rai Benjamin. His second sub 47 for the year. You know what I mean? He wins the race, breaking Samba from Qatar's record, 46.98, running 46.93. But it's good to see Samba's healthy again. Samba was second in that race with 47.09. We haven't seen Samba in a while.
Listen, Samba's an OG. He the one that cracked the door. Listen, he's the one that cracked the door open and let all these guys in who started running fast times. That blew our minds. So much respect to Samba. Glad to see you healthy, bro. Like, cause you know the game ain't the same without the big four. I love the big three, but I want to see the big four back at it with Samba, Dos Santos, Warholm, and Rai Benjamin. So, hey, stay healthy, Samba. Stay healthy.
Yeah, you ain't lying about that. I remember that year, man. He was running 46 like it was going out of business. I can't remember what season that was, but every time he stepped on the track, it was like 46.
True, very true, man. Very true. And I want to say who got third. Trevor Bassett has been growing through the ranks. I like mentioning athletes like Trevor because they are usually, to me, what the essence of track and field really is. You got guys who come into our sport who love it, who have a passion for it. They're not really like the star of their event or the sport, and they're kind of grinding their way through. They may not have a contract to begin with, or they just get in gear and they just kind of just grinding, getting better slowly but surely. And the next thing you know, they hit their groove and now they're making teams, and now they're starting to get on podiums, and now they're starting to run faster. So shouts out to Trevor, man, and guys just like Trevor, man, and ladies too. You know, that I think that's really the essence of our sport. We have way more people who have those kind of dreams than actually the 1%ers who are at the top right now who make it look very easily.
Yeah, we call Trevor Bassett those type of athletes to get it out the mud athletes. You know what I mean? They didn't have everything coming out of college, and they're grinding, and then boom, you know, they start making teams, and then they start, you know, they start climbing the ranks. So shouts out to the people like them. You know who was another grinding out the mud athlete who ended up being like one of the best? Jet, man. Jet won the NCAA champion. She won none of that, and she grinded her way all the way to the top. I think she ended up being one of the oldest world champions for the females in the 100 meters. So it shows, man. You just keep that grind going, and shoot, I think she's the 5th fastest woman all time or something like that. It's yeah, man. So shout out to Jet. Jet, you got to come on the show, man. We gonna get you. We gonna.
Yep. Congratulations to you too and the baby too. Bring the baby.
Oh yeah. Bring the baby. You want to see the baby? The baby is cute, man. I seen her speaking to a whole group of kids the other day, man. She's like, "You can't coach hard. You can't coach hard. That ain't something you can coach." And I was like, man, that type of energy made me feel like, yeah, she's right.
I love that kind of energy, man. And you have so many women in our sport who are built like that don't get a chance to really have a voice to show that that's how they operate. You know, you look at Dee Trotter, you look at Tiana Barletto Madison, and you look at, I mean, even Allison had that dog in her. You know what I mean? Just quiet about it. And Sydney had that dog in her. Coach Carroll got that dog in her. Like these females in our sport, Coach Tanja Bailey has that dog in her. And they grow their athletes, and they find those one little athletes that just need that break and just need that, get that dog out in front of them. And then they just become beast out there, dog. Beast.
100%. Any female coach who I see walking around the track with their sleeves rolled up like this, oh yeah, I always know. I say, oh yeah, they got that dog. They be ready. They
always got that mean mug on their face too. They be like,
I know. That's that face that don't talk to me unless I talk to you.
Facts. Get your ass on the line.
But some of our kids these days, they need that type of energy, man. It ain't abusive. You know, it's just sometimes those coaches, you got to get on them, you know, to get them to get it done. So those are those coaches that get on their athletes to make them get it done. So shouts out to both of those ladies who are doing a great job, by the way. We had the men's hurdles, 110 hurdles, Paris Diamond League.
Yes.
Trey Cunningham equals his personal best in 13 flat. Dylan Baird, personal best 13:02. He is starting to come around. If anybody don't know Dylan Baird, that's the Walmart guy.
Yeah,
he is sponsored by Walmart, which is great.
He's another get it out the mud kind of guy too.
Definitely get it out the mud, man. Definitely get it out the mud. But in that race was the first race back for Grant Holloway, right? And it's like I said, like 13:11, maybe 2 years ago, which is a good run for Grant. But I honestly think the men's hurdles is getting just as competitive as the women's hurdles. And when you look at that finish, it was just a blanket. You know what I mean? A blanket of a finish. You go 13 flat, 13:02, 13:07, 13:08, 13:11, and then Jamal Britt with 13:15. Like that was a really close race to see. Grant did an interview after the race, you know what I mean, saying, you know, he had to execute some things better, coming off of his loss. But Trey Cunningham getting his feet back onto the ground, man. Like he said, man, he's healthy. He can't lose. What did you see when you saw, or what did you think about the race?
Man, it was a truly competitive race. I love watching that race. Trey Cunningham did his thing. We talked about Trey since the moment he ran his first 110 hurdle race this season. He looked sharp. He looked ready. It's like he's at that level where the bubble's about to pop, right? Where you know that if he pushes out just a little bit better, he tweaks something within his race strategy, just a little bit, now he's sub 13. Now he's 12.9 something, right? And once he gets that rhythm and feel that, he starts consistently to hit another 12, because he's consistently running 13.0 this pretty much this whole season, if you look back at it, right? And you love to hit ratios. You love to talk about ratios. If a guy can do it 3 times, that means you are legit that dude. He has ran 13.0 3 times this year and probably more. So he's legit that dude in that 13.0 range. Dylan Beard, the one thing I love about Dylan, not the fact that he went out here and PR'd, but I think what helped him PR was the fact of 2 races back, he fell. He fell flat in a race. And as a hurdler, they always say it's almost like riding a motorcycle or being a cage fighter. You're gonna fall one day. You're gonna get knocked out one day. You just gotta know when it's gonna be your time and accept it, right? I think he accepted that fall, but then immediately the next race after he fell, he won that race. He gutted out and won that race and cleared the field. And then this race is that following race after that, and you see that he goes out and PR. So athletes like that, they realize, like, if I'm failing, I need to go harder. I need to go above and beyond. I'm cool. He was cool running 13.2s and 13.1s, and he said, nah, that's not going to get it done anymore. And he just shift the gear. So I love seeing that in an athlete. He reminds me so much of David Payne in a way.
Oh man, shout out to David.
Shout out to David Payne.
Dog, man. David Payne, wherever you are, man. Shoot, shout out to David.
Yeah, because that's what David would do. For people who don't know, go back. What world championship was that? Was that 2011? Was it Daegu? What was that? Where they flew him over?
I think it was Osaka. They flew him over like a day before he raced, and he ended up getting the silver medal, bro.
07.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that, bro.
So they literally flew him over the day before his race and went out there and still got on a podium medal. That's dogging you. You ain't letting no excuse, no jet lag, no you upset because your ego's in the way, talking about, man, they should have had me over here to begin with. You came and handled business when duty called, and he handled business. And I see that in Dylan Beard.
Yeah, I remember that because he was my training partner not at that time, but he was my training partner later, and he told me the story how it happened. And he was like, I think Dominic Arnold got hurt over in Osaka because he made the team. He was the 3rd one to make the team. And he said he was sitting on his couch, but he said he kept training because, after Worlds, you're going to go over to more meets. And he's like, he got the call and he's like, hey, you got to come over like tomorrow. We got a ticket for you like tomorrow. Like you got to fly over tomorrow. And then because you got to fly over, the prelims of the hurdles would be like the next day. And he was like, all right, bet. He got on the plane, jumped down, made it through the prelims, and ended up getting the silver medal in that World Championships, man. So shout out to David Payne, man. If he could come and tell that story, that'd be amazing. David, wherever you are, shoot, man, let us know where you at, man. He certified dog.
For sure, 100%.
But
even just to go down the list, I mean, let's move down to I guess we want to talk about the elephant in the room, right? Grant Holloway. Now, mind you, Grant has expressed that he's been injured, correct? He had an injury.
I don't know if he expressed that. That was our speculation.
All right.
He never said it. Okay. He never said that he was injured.
So I'm personally going off the fact of not seeing him as in many races for the last month pretty much shows you probably had a knick-knack injury of some sort or something you need to work through to get better, right? And then coming back to running 13.1 and watching his race, he seemed not as sharp and aggressive as he usually is over the hurdle and off hurdles, right? So that tells me he might be a little rusty. That's it. Am I worried about Grant? I think he has time. I think that was a tester race for him, right? To say, okay, where am I at? I'm 85% healthy, 90% healthy. Let's see where we at. We're not going to get injured again if we do everything correct. So he went out there and dropped a 13.1, and 2 years ago, 13.1 would have won races for him. So
exactly.
That shows you where this event has evolved in the last 2 years, where people were begging and stressing to run a 13.0, and usually the king of the roost at that point in time was Grant Holloway, and he was dropping 13.1s and winning races very easily, you know what I mean, across the board. But now the levels have stepped up. The athletes have stepped up.
This is going to be really interesting for USA's, right? Because you remove Grant out of this race, you have 3 other Americans. You have Jamal Britt, who also shows that he could be a contender. And Grant has more time because he's the world champion, so he only has to show fitness. He doesn't have to really compete at USA. But as you have Trey Cunningham, Dylan Baird, and you got Cordell Tinch amongst a few other runners. So 4 of them can go. So even if you remove Grant, 3 more can go. Who are those 3 going to be? And I just named 4 hurdlers and none of them are Grant Holloway. You know what I'm saying? So that means USA is going to be a fast one to make this team.
I don't want to get too sidetracked, but Team USA is going to have a lot of athletes at this World Championship. You have Grant Holloway, who's the defending world champion, so he has to buy. You have Noah Lyles, who has to buy in the 1 and the 2. So now they're bringing 4 athletes for the 1 and the 2 over there as well. Who do we have in other races for Team USA?
You have Miss Richardson, who's the defending champion in the 100. So you have 4 women to go in the 100.
Yep, 4 women that's going to go in the 100. So this kind of world championships is the coming out party for young athletes. If you're strong enough, you're focused enough, and you're good enough on that day to make the team, then this is your opportunity to showcase your talent under the big lights, right? So I'm excited about it because we don't usually get that many buys in the last couple of years to decade, that many buys at this level. So you're going to see a lot of athletes whose dreams are about to come true.
But once they get the Worlds, even though they'll have a good squad for the 110 hurdles, ain't no medals guaranteed. They ain't giving out no medals out there. You have Jason Joseph, Sweden, and then you have the home team, Rashid, who has been coming on pretty well the whole season. He going to Tokyo, man. And we all know that Tokyo, your home crowd could give you an extra boost.
You got that 10.
You can
That
get that
10 points.
You can get that extra boost in the final, and who knows what could happen with the young man from Japan, Rashid. You know what I mean? So that's going to be a very exciting race to watch. I wouldn't miss it. I think it's very competitive. I don't think Grant Holloway would have it any other way because he always talking about racing the best of the best and wanting to beat them when they're at their best, which shows is the pedigree of a true champion. So
you cannot count out Broadbell. Broadbell was not in this race here, but we've seen Broadbell and he's getting into form now. So yeah, I'm a Broadbell fan though. I met him several times. Dapped him up, man. That's my G. For real? Where'd you meet him at?
In the Bahamas, man. We had like 2 meets in the Bahamas, man. Dapped him up, man. Like he's a cool dude. Very tall. Looked like he should have been playing basketball.
I'd be feeling like you or me sometimes because you become like, I met such and such, man. I had a conversation with such and such. I'm like, oh, where was I at?
But I met him before our podcast though. So I met him a few times before the podcast. Yeah. Okay, so I really wasn't running a podcast yet. You know what I mean? So when I met him, my beard was black.
Okay. He gonna literally think that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, he gonna be like, yeah, that was you. Oh, my boy. Oh, okay.
I thought that was your younger brother.
Speaking, we know Sharika is the 200 meter world champion, but we have some formidable opponents in the U.S. who are starting to wind up. We have the undefeated Anavia Battle, 22-27. She's getting closer and closer to her PB, but I don't think she could hide anymore. I think a lot of the athletes are going to prepare for her. They've been saying that she hasn't been tested yet. But trust me, this is a girl who can stand the test of whoever she's placed against. She's ready now. She's showing it, and by the time she lines up against somebody who's going to test her, she will rise to the occasion. Now, what may come out of that, I don't know, but I'm guessing fast times.
Listen, athletes don't like to throw around the C word. They don't like to throw around the C word when it comes to interviews. And I listened to an interview she just had, and she said, I'm confident. I am confident in myself. I'm confident in my race. I'm confident I can get the job done. So that means that what she's running right now, she's running at a pace to win. That means that she still probably has some more left in the tank to be able to say, okay, when it's time to line up against one of them big one of them big dogs, I'm ready to go. I'll be ready right there next to you to be able to run stride for stride.
Yeah, man, I did definitely. She's been running an amazing curve, and her straightaway, her last 50 meters has been looking very, very, very strong. To battle people like Gabby and everything else.
Yep, exactly. I saw a name on the list actually that I haven't seen in a very long time, which I was happy to see.
Who's that?
Daisha Stevens. Remember who was from Oregon? Yeah.
I remember Daisha. Yeah, 22:66. Yeah. That's a good run for her.
Yeah, that is.
That is definitely a good run for her. I saw my girl on there, man, Brittany Brown. You know, I don't want Brittany Brown has time, right? Amazing 200-meter runner, 100-meter runner. Let's keep in mind she is post-surgery running these type of times. So God knows what if she was healthy. And she didn't put it out for a long time, and not for a long time. She's put it out now that what she's going through. And 22:77 is a good run for her. And she has a month to kind of wheedle it down. So I know her and her coaches and her team, they're trying to get her in a rhythm of running to where she can make that team. But I mean, shout out to Brittany, man. I know that's tough. I don't know a lot of women who could do what she's doing or go through what she's going through. But I definitely want to shout her out.
I mean, she's a dog. So dogs usually understand that when they're down, they're going to take their L's. They're going to make their list. They're going to check it twice. They're going to figure out who's up there beating them when they're down. And they're going to target acquired when it's time for to be up. So when she gets back up, we know how Brittany runs. And we've seen her run last year. We've seen her pull off a great race in Athlos. So all I'm saying is we know she's down right now. And when she gets back up, watch out. She going to get back up, you know? So shouts out to her. Shouts out to all ladies. Mackenzie Long, you know what I'm saying, who's been on our RG watch list as well. So she's out there her first year around traveling the world. You know what? I would love to get like recaps of athletes that we've had on the show and just check in on them like, so how's the traveling going? You know what I mean?
If you watch her story, she'll let you know. If you watch her on Instagram, she'll be like, bruh, I just got up. I probably slept for 12 hours. That first year of being a pro and traveling is horrendous on the body. You know what I mean? And I like all the athletes who are turning pro now, I hope your agents and your team are preparing you for what you're going to go through during travel and how to take care of your body through that process. That's the most important thing, because now you're not just traveling within the continental United States. You have to be in different countries within 2 days of your race every week.
Yes.
You might have 3 meets lined up. You're going to race 3 times within 10 days in 3 different countries.
We call that the Mike Rogers. That's exactly what's about to happen. You about to be on that grind. No one did it better than Mike Rogers himself, boy. I remember to this day, I remember sitting there in my room in a different country. I forgot what country it was, and really watching Mike run a race in a whole nother country. And then I was like, okay, that was a good run. A couple hours later, I would go down to dinner because it was early in the day. Go down to dinner, and guess who walks in the door of the cafeteria? Mike Rogers. You're going to run a lot of races. You're going to wake up and run in Japan, and you're going to go to sleep, and you're going to go run in Rome or something like that. It just happens that way. So you just got to get used to it.
Mike out there DJing now, man. He traveling throughout Texas DJing, man. He doing his thing. He
did to get back on that European circuit, man. Be the official after party DJ for these events.
I know, man. Now that you mentioned one of our RSG watch lists, man, the one who I talked about, man, she's starting to come into real form, man. Man, we talking about Grace Starr. Grace Starr. You might as well call her Grace Smart, boy, because listen, that girl dropped that 12-2-1. 12-2-1. They say, I know runners who always be like, yeah, you can run fast in the United States, but it don't count if you can't go overseas and do it. Listen. 12-21. I think in the last show I talked about how the hurdlers skip over 12-2 and go straight to 12-1, but we had a few.
You got your 12-2. There you go, brother. You got your 12-2.
We got a 12-2. Very, very commanding race for her. But I want you to see who was coming in the second half of that race, who closed on her like a freight train. The world record holder, Toby Amasan. Everybody asks, oh, we don't know if Glenn Mills could coach hurdles. We don't know if that was a good choice for her to move to Jamaica. Guess what? This looking like a good move. It's
looking like a great move.
It's looking like a great freaking move, okay? 12:24. Toby hasn't ran this fast since she broke the world record.
Listen, as soon as Toby crossed that line, I guarantee you Glenn's phone was like, well, go on.
What you eating? Aki and saltfish. What you need? What you want?
You want me to train you?
Call my people.
Call my people. Yeah, but that and you look at that field, and just off of names, period, that's still a stacked field. You know, obviously, Gray Starks commanding the lead, Toby Hassan. Then you have Nugent. Then you have also one of the former world record holders, Kenny Harrison, who's an OG in the game as well, who really broke into that barrier of that 12-2 when she ran her world record.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had Nadine there, and then you have the 242 in the building as well.
Yeah, Devin Charlton. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, and then you have Alicia that's down there as well, and you have the Polish girl right there, Pia. So all those ladies have done something amazing throughout their career already that you could be like, yo, they did that. So that's the field. I love seeing that. So watching what Grace Starks did and have her having like a superhero name like that, I mean, she did something super in this meet for me.
Yeah, man. Listen, 12-6 got last place. 12-6 back in our day would have got you third. got you third, fourth, fifth. 12-6 got eighth place. Eighth place, my G.
12-5 and 12-4, you be like, ooh, they cooking. They about to get on top of that podium.
Nah, not with them 2-12-2s out there, man. This is gonna, the women's hurdles are gonna look so crazy. Like I said, world record alert. The world record, I definitely think is gone. I definitely think this year is gone. These young ladies are on fire, man. I can't say enough about what they're doing and how they're putting out those times in Paris, man. This is crazy. This was the most impressive race out of the Diamond League for me, man. That 12:21, which is crazy. Jeez.
Yeah. And I heard Queen. If you follow Queen Harris, so she was talking about how these young ladies out here running these 12-3s and 12-2s like it ain't nothing. She said it got me screaming because it's like it blows her mind, you know, because obviously training is at a different level now, especially for these young athletes. They're at a different level, you know, of the era of a Queen or a Christy Gatlin. Like those ladies were gunning for a 12-4, right? And now you got these ladies that are gunning for 12-2 and beyond, you know? So that's what I love watching, the evolution of events. That's what you're seeing right now is like the whole new batch of young athletes who are running times that were maybe a couple of years back, you'd be like, nah, that couldn't happen. Not in this volume of athletes. Maybe one or two would do it, but now a 12-3 getting third, 12-30 getting third. That's crazy.
That's crazy work, man. Shoot, we gonna wrap it up for that Paris Diamond League, man. We gonna fly because on the 22nd, some things happened at the Bob Vigars Classic, which was crazy. We had Caleb McRae run 43.91 in the 400. 43.91. We haven't spoke on a Caleb McRae this year.
No. No, we haven't.
He beat the field by over a second. Second place was Lewis from Mexico with 45.42. A second plus. I mean, he was way out there dolo, 43.91. Of course, he broke a meet record. Because he broke every record. Lord Jesus, we ran 43.91. But I don't know if he got a deal, but I'm gonna be like what's the name from Trinidad? Give this man a deal if he don't have one.
Jareem.
Jareem, give this man a deal. I was like 43.91. I did not see that coming from Canada, from that meet. You know what I mean? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah,
and he's American.
Where is he trained at? I need to know. I need to do my research right now.
Listen, we definitely got to do our research. Shout out to you, Caleb McRae, man. We want to shout you out. 43.91 is I'm pretty sure he is stoked. I don't know. He went to Canada and he dropped a nuclear bomb out there in Canada, man, with the 43.91. I'm pretty sure all the 400 meter runners who runs the 400 saw that. So they're understanding there's a new person that has entered the chat for USA's. Like, this is beyond crazy. What you doing? You looking it up?
You know I'm trying to look him up, dog. I am trying to look this dude up for sure, man. 43.91. And then second place is 54. Like 45.
Yeah.
You got me. Look at it. Got me twisted out here, dog.
I know.
Yeah, I'm looking him up, man. I'm about to look him up. Let's keep going though. Let's keep going.
Okay. Listen, in the same meet at Bob Vigars Classic in Canada, we had Marcellus Moore, 996 win legal. 1.5, 996 for him. He is now entered the chat. He was doing really well indoors. We had mentioned him a few times indoors, but now he's running a legal 996 at this time, which inserts him as one of the fastest Americans at this time. You know what I mean? With this win legal time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with a 1.5 win. So that means that's definitely under the allowable. So he's definitely 9.6. So, 9, but I'm saying 9.96. So
yeah, I was like 9.6. Wait, you see that coming, boy? I ain't seen that, boy. You must be looking through Stevie Wonder glasses, boy. I don't know.
Good run, man. Good run for Marcellus Moore for sure. Definitely.
Yeah, man. And the other 100, we have Sade McCreath from Canada, running 10.95. This is really good for her, but Camille Rutherford, 10.96 from the Bahamas, 2.42 to the world, 2.42 to the world, man. I'm glad we have two runners after Miss Charlton from University of Florida with the 10.87. I'm looking for us to have a female 4x1 out there, man. We got two. I know we could get another two. We could get Devin on there or first leg. We could get Anthony on there. We could have a 4x1 be contenders at the World Championships. I'm very excited to see that happen. But also, I think Canada is going to try to make a push also, because in that 10.95 race with Sade ran, you had fourth place, Jacqueline, Emily, and Marie with 11.1, 11.1, and 11.2. We all know you don't have to be the four fastest on the track to get the job done. You just have to have the synergy and legs that could compete with some of the fastest legs in the world. So I think Canada is gearing up to try to match their men's energy, trying to make the podium as far as being in contention for Worlds. What are your thoughts?
I mean, we haven't seen a quartet of Canadian female athletes able to run 11.1s across the board, especially with a 10.9. So I think they have a really good squad that can really surprise some people. If they're taking the whole preparation to get them ready for their relay and they're snatching that page out from the men's side, those women might be ready. Those women might be ready to go through the prelims and the finals and have a good 4x1 relay team. A solid one for sure. Because I can't remember the last time I've seen a female, Crystal, who ran for Team Canada. She was the fastest for the last couple of years. And now you have a whole core of women who obviously are coming in running 10, 11.1s and 11.0s and 10.9s now. So that tells you the level of talent in Canada when it comes to their females is definitely on the rise. So keep a lookout for them. And for the 242, I think y'all got a squad, bro, between Devin and her sister. Didn't her sister just run a 10.86?
Yes, so she 10.87.
Yeah.
1087. She's the second fastest Bahamian all time. She's just turned pro. You know, I think a good you pop Devin out the hole, you get it to Antonique or somebody like that who you could get to this young lady right here, Miss Rutherford, and get it to Charlton to finish. You know what I mean? She has amazing top end. So I'd love to see. I don't know how they set it up, however they set it up, but I'd love to see them get on the ball with that, man. I just wanted to. I know I'm being a little biased at this point with my country, but I'm always do that. But listen, I would love to see a female 4x1, man. The Golden Girls always give me goosebumps when I think about them and when they won that gold medal. You know what I mean? Because we're a country under 1 million people, bro. You don't have 1 million people in the Bahamas. We barely got 500,000 people in the Bahamas.
Well, you sound like Pensacola, Florida. That's what it sounds like. Head count wise, for sure.
I'm just saying. They say Jamaica all the time. Jamaica got 2.8 million people. I love Jamaica, by the way. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. For our country to do things like that under 500,000 people is more than extraordinary. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
And we have the talent. Absolutely. We have the talent to do it. That's all I'm saying.
No, I think it's right. And I want to put out there the fact of how many relays have you seen where sisters are on the relay?
How many have? Nah, not a lot. Not a lot. Trinidad gonna have some. They got the twins.
True.
Trinidad got the twins.
So the Bahamas need to go ahead, just jump into that same pool and make that happen. That's some good history, bro. Two sisters passing the baton to each other. That'd be dope.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. So shout out to the Charlton sisters, and the 242 for and Miss Rutherford. Man, listen, that is amazing. A lot of women, I don't know where that puts Miss Rutherford, but I guarantee it probably puts her somewhere in maybe 6 or 7 all time for the Bahamas, which is very good. We don't have a lot of women that's sub 11. You know what I mean?
Who's the fastest, Chandra?
Chandra's the fastest at 1084. Yes.
1084. Gotcha.
1084. And then I think Debbie is behind her at 1091. And then I think Pauline is 1093. I may be wrong. I know somebody's going to correct me in the chat.
You might be off just by like a digit or two.
Yeah, I may be wrong, but I think Debbie is the second fastest. Shout out to Debbie, man. She coached at Kentucky. But yeah, man, shoot, I'd love to see it. We gonna fly over, man. Let's get to Germany.
Hold on, we ain't done. We ain't done over there. It's at the same meet as Moose. Is that where Moose ran? Or that's a different meet?
No,
okay.
That's a different meet.
Oh, I'm ahead of myself. That's
Germany. That's where we going. We going to Dessau. We're going to Dessau, Germany, man. Where Moose, 6th fastest Canadian all time, dropped his first win legal 9:97. If you don't know who Moose is Jerome Blake from Canada. He runs the famous second leg on their relay, Olympic gold medalist, Olympic world medalist. 9:97, 6th fastest Canadian all time. I was so happy for him. If you watch the race, when he run through the line and he see the time, he runs down in the middle of the field, drops down and spin around. I was so happy for him because I know how hard. I've seen him before. I've watched how hard he's worked. We've seen each other in passing all the time, but I know how hard that young man works. You know what I mean? That young man works very hard to try to be one of the best for his country and to be one of the best in the world. And I was very happy to see that out of him.
Good. I am too, man. Shouts out to Jerome, man. Moose. Shouts out, man. I love the fact that athletes like himself can be able to take themselves out of that mindset where it feels like the coach that got you your best time ever is the only coach that can coach you to good times. Like, clearly Jerome has put the work in. He has stayed the course and he's been patient. And now a time like a 9:97 has dropped out the sky for him and he achieved it. So now knowing him, just keep building off of that, bro. Just keep building off of that, you know?
Definitely. And the female race, it wasn't win legal. It was a 2.5. Gina Luken-Kemper, former European champion, 1093. And her training partner, Daryl Nieder, with 11 flat. Now, I don't know if Darrenita heard me when I said ain't nobody gonna be Dina Asher. She would like to have something to say about that. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful, but hey, I love how your times are winding down. This is good for you. For the both of them, actually. You know what I mean? So them running those times around now is a good confidence booster from both of those athletes.
And of course, Delnita is one of those get out the mud kind of athletes too. We watched her go from 11.3s to 11.2s to 11.1s, and she became pretty consistent with 11.0s and dropped down into the sub 11s as well. So that's an athlete that you're going to see that's going to show up on the time when the time is right. So shouts to her to be able to prepare her season going forward.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Those were some of the meets that we saw overseas, man. We're going to touch into our Rising Stars section. Rising Stars of Tomorrow. One lady who to me, I feel like out of the national high school rankings that just stuck her whole foot out to me was that young lady, Natalie Dumas. Natalie Dumas at the New Balance Nationals. First place in the 400 meter hurdles, first place in the 400 meters, first place in the 800 meters. And these ain't times that's easy to run, man. 55.99 in the hurdles, 51.14 in the 400, and 2 minutes flat in the 800 meters. Lord Jesus.
Crazy, bro. Crazy.
She entered the top 10 all time in all those races. Number 7th all time in the 400 meter hurdles, number 8th all time in the 400 meters, and number 5 all time. Which is an amazing company, man. I'm pretty sure colleges are all over her. Wherever she wants to go, she can go wherever she wants to go, even if she wants to go pro.
100%. I don't know what grade she's in right now, but her 55.99 in the 400 hurdles, it sits her at high school number 7 all time. 400 meters, 51.14, that sits her at 8th all time high school. And then that 800 meters, it sits her at 5th all time high school. So she not only is going out there on a day and just kind of not just winning races, but she's going out there and putting her name in the history books at the same time. I would love to know what her prep looked like for this, because this is a crazy trifecta, bro. It ain't like, oh, you run the 1 and then you got about an hour or so to run the 200. Like, she did the 400 hurdles, the 400, and backed up with 800. Like, yeah. That is a day of work for real.
She was running grand slam track out there because there were heats and finals for every race that she ran. They wasn't one-offs. She had to qualify and then come back. So she didn't even have a gimme.
That's crazy. Like, what do you even do with an athlete like that? Like, I would be nervous to make a decision if her circle or powers to be, like, what do you do with an athlete like that? Because
talk to a shoe company. How do you want your future to look?
Hey, shoe company, how you doing?
I'm trying to tell you, if a shoe company is smart, look at what shoe she's wearing, whatever shoe she won in. If I was that shoe company, I would be honored. How would you like to have an NIL on your way to college?
100%. I don't even think the ink's dry on that paper right now. She should be having an NIL deal that camera cross as soon as she crossed the finish line for that last race.
I am trying to tell you, like I said, I think I did the same thing for Christian Miller. I was like, hey, Puma, man, whoever is Puma rep, man, y'all need to holler at that man. He done dropped 3 9 seconds in these Puma spikes. Y'all need to be like, hey, you like those spikes? How would you like to wear those spikes all the time? All the time. And get paid for it.
And get paid for it. Exactly. Shout out to Natalie Dumas, man. That is an amazing feat for sure.
Now, we had out there at the Nike Indoor Nationals, we had Horton Mims win the 400. You know what I mean?
Okay.
45.58. But what I want to say for those people who watch the Nike outdoor nationals. The weather did not permit. It was cold and it was rainy. Not all the days, but it was mostly cold, which doesn't permit for some of these youths to go out and run the time that they've done. So for Horton to go out there and run 45:58 and that type of weather, I feel like is an amazing feat. Did you watch the race?
I did, and shout out to him for like he's been on his bully this year. He has shown up to the meets and saying, I don't care who's in that race, I'm coming to get the W. So for him to go out there, like you said, in that conditions where it's been like 50 plus degrees, so high 50s, that's not really conducive for sprinting. And young athletes aren't known to be the best preppers for chilly weather or cold weather. For him to go out there and run 45:58 and second place being 46:42, that shows you that what kind of shape he's in right now. So he's claiming that this is his year, and he's been going out there on the tear no matter who's in the race. It could have been Quincy in the race. I'm still going for the W. He's making his mark.
Shoot. And another 400, man, you have the little itty bitty, man. I love to watch this young girl run. Brooke Lloyd. She ain't that big. She remind me of Salwa Inasar. She's very itty bitty, boy, but she get them legs turning, boy.
Me.
And she go. Anytime I see her run, I be like, pew. She be going, man. She ran 52:84, man. Being that small to get around the track the way she does, man, she certified has to have a dog in her. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you said, she got a motor in her. She got to have a motor in her. She's out there running like that, and she's tiny.
Very, 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 very tiny. With both of these nationals going on, I think it's three of them. I think you have Adidas Nationals, Nike Nationals, and New Balance Nationals going on at the same time. It's crazy. We had great performance from a lot of these athletes, but I'm wondering what we would have to do to get like one nationals to get the best out of all these kids, because they drop in times that's amazing. You know what I mean? So let me show you. Meet record just fell again. You know what I mean? At New Balance Nationals. We talked about her indoor, and she did the same thing outdoor. In the 200, talking about Elise Cooper, 22:44 for the meet record. That is amazing. 22:44, Cyan win with 23:05, which is anything 23:5 from a high schooler is amazing. So once they go under 23:5, that is crazy. And fifth place was 23:53 from J. Lee Brown. Skylar Brazell was 23:20. Maya Love was 23:1. And Cyan Wynn was 23:05. And then you have 22:44, which is crazy.
So let me do the math. Carry the 1 / greater signed. That time of 22:44 would have put her second place at the Paris Diamond Leagues. You understand? You understand? She would have went out there and put away some of these females in a field, right? And we're just saying numbers to numbers, because a lot goes into traveling, jet lag, not eating the same nutrition that you usually having. We understand that. But the fact of that she can go out and put a time out there like that is comparable to professional times out there on the circuit at this point in time shows you that is what talent looks like right now. Because 22:44 at a high school meet, that's on go. You gone. You gone.
Definitely. At the same meet, man, the star of the meet, Quincy Wilson got another national championship at 45:37. I think this is his fifth or sixth one. This is crazy. This is his fifth or sixth national champion, man. He's out there. He got the trolls out there on him too, man. He already got like a lot of people. Majority of people love him, but then you got some of the haters that hate him a little bit too. You know what I mean? It comes along with the territory. You know what I mean? And he looks like a young man that understands. He doesn't pay him any mind. He goes out there and does his job, and it was like business as usual. 45:37 as usual. What were your thoughts?
I don't understand how you have trolls when you're a 16-year-old phenom who runs 44s and 45s almost every time you run. Who can hate on that? That's crazy to me. Who can hate on that? Shouts out to Q-Dub, man. Quincy, you're doing your thing, man. Love how you're doing it. Not only are you changing the game for yourself, but your teammates at Bullets, clearly it's contagious because you have so many athletes on that side who are looking and making their marks of greatness too on your team. And shouts out to Coach Joe Lee, man. He's doing a great job with your team over there, man. So y'all keep doing your thing, man. Do it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully we link up with Coach Joe Lee later this season, man. He let me know he definitely wants to be on the show. He wants to talk about a few things. So we'll leave that for the show. But Coach Joe, you gonna get your wish, man. You gonna be on here.
I'm trying to get the whole Bullets team on, dog. We got we gonna do our whole little everybody. You know when you watch those little Dateline shows?
Oh yeah.
Where it has like those little bar chairs, the bar chair stools where you have 3 people sitting in the front and then you got people sitting behind them and extra 3 or 4 people sitting behind them and everybody kind of chimes in a little bit. We gonna do that for y'all, man. I think that'd be a pretty cool show to watch.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments if y'all would definitely like that, man. And the 100 females, Cyan win 11:29, legal 11:29 to beat out Lisa Ray. Lisa Ray was the former champion. She ran 11:38. Now, the funny thing about Lisa Ray, she was the national champion in the 200, and I would have loved to see her against Elise Cooper, but she didn't run. You know what I mean? So I don't know what happened. I hope she's definitely okay. But shout outs to Cyan Win. You know what I mean? She comes across the line and she goes like this and she's like, all I do is win. You know what I mean? I don't know if she was listening to DJ Khaled, but you know what I mean? But shout outs to her, man. I love the energy at New Balance, man. It was they had good music, they had good vibe, and they had better weather than Nike Nationals. You know what I mean? But the funny thing is, out there at Nike Nationals, people like Lukenhaus Cooper. I always mess up his name. We talked about him indoor. Young man goes out there and runs 1:45 in the 800, no matter what the weather, by himself.
That's crazy, Doug.
In high school, bro.
I can looking at that time and coming to the realization that I can see how people are so in awe with elite athletes running times because they know they'll never be able to do that. I'm never going to be able to run a 1:45, 1:40 anything, 800 meters. And for him at the age he's at right now to run 1:45 and to be able to do that and just already commanding the field, man. Like, you in a whole different realm, bro. That's a whole different level. Like, what do you do? Hello, shoe companies?
Nah,
like these kids, like I feel like these kids are like going pro in our sport. It's gonna be almost a normal thing soon. Like high school kids turning pro. If they can test that metal and show they can consistently do it, and not just a one-time thing, why would you not? Why would you not? You know?
100%. 100%. Next standout athlete, you know what I mean? That was at Nike Nationals. Andrew Jones running 50.66 in the 400 meter hurdles. Young man almost sub 50 for the win, man. It's crazy. 50.66 for a high schooler, bro. Nah, when you run like 52, that's really good. 51 is really good. 50 is really, really, really good in high school. You know what I mean? You definitely want to recruit that kid. But it was a fast race. 51.84 was 5th place. 51.99 was 6th place.
That's crazy, man.
Anyway, all your state champions, most state champions all over the country wouldn't have placed at this race. Most of them. Some of them would have. Most of them would not at all, which is really crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we have the biggest race that everybody is waiting for at Nike Nationals between the big three of the country, and they are undisputedly the big three of the country in Tate Taylor, Maurice Cleaton, and Braden Williams. This was a build-up to watch this race. You had all of them running fast times before they actually locked horns and raced each other. Well, Tate Taylor and Maurice and Braden Williams already raced like twice. You know what I mean? So for the three of them locking up, this was the first time they locked up to see who is the fastest high schooler out there. Now, the returning champion, Maurice Gleaton, was out there also, who had just dropped a windy 982 down here in Orlando. You give us your take on that race, man.
All I can say is bum, 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 because that was, listen, I felt like I was literally watching an elite race, the way it was set up. The way they had the intros come in, they had the athletes stand behind their blocks, they gave them time, they was able to do their gestures, and when the gun went off, it was, they did not disappoint. They did not. At the end of the day, it was the fact of, it was a race, a very close race. You watch Braden get out, boom, he has that rocket start, and he's moving through like the 30 meters and he's commanding the race. By the 50-meter mark, you see surge from Maurice and you see a surge from Tate. And now they're kind of running stride for stride, and Braden's kind of jockeying for that third position, second position. And then all of a sudden, you just see like Tate stay strong, stay tall, and he keeps pushing into the ground, and it kind of gave him that edge over Maurice to be able to get that 10-10 over that 10-11. I think it was a cool race. I definitely enjoyed the race. I would love to see them lock horns in the next couple of years down the road, because all these guys are entertaining to watch, and it's even more entertaining to see them run against each other.
I don't know. I would love to see them run against each other again, but Maurice Gleaton is signed to the University of Georgia for football also. So I don't know if we end up seeing him next year. Like if we see him, would it be at the same capacity, because he'll have dual activity if they let him run track. You know what I mean? But obviously he's going to be the fastest football player on the field out there at Georgia, maybe the fastest football player in the NCAA, if it's so being that Jordan went pro, Jordan Anthony. He would have been that guy. At windy 975, and then you got a windy 982, they would have been dubbed who is the fastest NCAA football player. But with Jordan going pro, it's obviously Maurice Gleaton. I'm definitely going to be watching the gridiron to see how he plays at Georgia. I don't know when his report date or what the future holds for him, but I definitely think things may shake out a little different if him and Tate were side by side.
Oh, instead of having Braden in the middle.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think when the blocks was popped with Braden, I think once he passed Braden, he felt that, okay, I almost had it, but like, your peripheral, you could see legs. So he didn't know, coming closer to the line, once he realized Tate was there, you can see him starting to reach for the line, maybe about 5 meters out. And just like you said, you watch Tate high step through that line, running through to the finish. And that's what made it so close. So I think by the time he saw that kid, in his head, he was like, I almost, and he just missed out on it. You know what I mean? So not saying that. And I think it's the same thing for Tate. I think once he cleared them, they think he had it, and then he could see Maurice over there. And it was just more so who could hold their speed the best and the longest and not decelerate going through 80, 90, 100 meters.
True. Good analysis on that, man. Good analysis on that.
Yeah, man. Shoot. We have a few things coming up, man. We have, in a few days, we have Faith Kipyegon versus the 4-minute mile. She is trying to be the first female to sub 4 minutes in the mile ever. What's your thoughts on her trying to do this?
I love it. I love when you see athletes breaking barriers especially when it's gender based. You know, we watch multiple men and high school boys break the sub minute, you know, for a sub minute mile, right? So watching her go out there and try to attempt this is going to be highly entertaining to watch, because now it's going to be a woman saying, look what I could do. I can beat a lot of you guys out here, especially me, in a mile. You know what I mean? Because that's crazy. And she's the one who's the closest to even getting there. She's like 4:08 or something like that. That's already her time in the mile already. So for her to get even better and drop all those tenths off to get down to a sub 4, that is a whole nother training regimen at a whole different level right there. Everything has to be prepared right. Like where she's running at, which I think she's running in Paris, right? So from what I hear, Nike did a whole test. They talked to meteorologists to know exactly what day to do this on. Her Nike speed suit is a one of one, unique to her, and a whole different new design that hasn't even came out yet. And Nike went out and said they dropped $30 million on this project in advertisement, going around the world, speaking on it, promoting it, the advertisements through social media and commercials. And win or lose, it's going to be an experience. The attempt itself is going to be legendary to watch.
They got a whole documentary on it. I think they did the spikes testing, you know what I mean, how she needs to move. They really put their all into this. And if you're going to be the first woman to run a sub 4 minute mile and Nike invested all that money, they definitely want you to be in their shoe.
It is true, very much so. And obviously her going out there and doing that, the next day is going to be a line wrapped around the corner of just weekend warriors, especially females, going to get whatever shoe she just ran in.
Exactly. Distance runners sell shoes.
That's what they say.
Distance runners sell shoes. That is going to be great to watch. We'll definitely be commenting on it after she does it, whether she does it or not. We're wishing that she do complete the task, but we'll definitely be commentating on it to let you know how it's going to be. Nike will be streaming it on YouTube, I think, also.
Yeah, I really want to watch the documentary, man. There was a documentary that really got me into understand the intricacies of preparing for a now or never kind of situation like this, right? Which is, I think it was like a free climber who climbed the summit of a mountain with no like gear, no nothing. And he in the documentary went through and step by step and had the audience understanding what his preparation was, and also understanding in the emotions of his circle that prepared him for this moment. I think this documentary is going to be very similar, because it's almost like she's not preparing to do just an event. She's creating art. Like everything has to be perfect. Time wise, how she feels that day, what's the weather going to feel like, got to keep crazies from jumping into the race. Like everything has to be for this to be able to hit right. And afterwards, that's when you're going to hear the story of like, oh, this went wrong, that went wrong. We still kept moving forward and we still were successful. So I can't wait to see what the documentary when it comes out, for sure.
100%. Now, in our chat, they always ask me or you to speak on current events in our sport, whether they be current events or not. We've seen a lot of movement in the with Jamaican athletes in Turkey. Even a Nigerian athlete in Turkey. I know we wanted a kind of a more professional kind of stance on how athletes are paid and things, but between countries, it seems like that's how it's going, like pay for play. You know what I mean? So you had 3 field athletes just changed their allegiance from Jamaica to Turkey. What are your thoughts on that? And on their stories of how they're feeling and the dollar amount of which they're saying is a $500,000 amount for them to go and train. But on top of that, there will be bonuses given for if they place at World Championships and Olympics, along with a monthly stipend along with that. Now, I would like to know what are the intricacies of them being Turkish at this point. What do you think of this?
I'm for the athletes, 100%.
We are for the athletes, yes.
We are for the athletes, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the fact of the athletes have one career. That's it. You know, and you have to make the best of your career. And if you know that you are a talent that can be able to showcase your talent in the world and be one of the people that stand on top of the podium, that means that you are in a very small bracket of percentage that can be successful in the world, right? So with that being said, if I'm an athlete in that situation, I'm going to go. I'm going to switch. I'm going to switch because it's going to be lucrative for me. At the end of the day, all my hard work is going to really legitimately pay off. And then on top of that, you're going to feel that you are being appreciated, you know, because you're being taken care of like a professional athlete. And this is one of the things that we talk about in our sport is the fact of we say we're professional, but there's a lot of things in our sport that's still done very amateur-like, you know? And now there's no knock towards Jamaica and the federation, anything like that. We don't know what's behind the scenes, behind the closed doors, if there's enough money that to be able to be dispersed to be able to appease these athletes that they do have, you know what I mean? So we don't know that. And if you remember, there was a video that came out not too long ago where Asafa spoke on this. And what he said, and some people, it ruffled a lot of people's feathers the way he said it. He said, if I had a decision to make it over again, I would not. That's what he said. And I don't think my kids are going to run for Jamaica unless things change. That's what he said. Mm-hmm. Unless things change, you know? So no athlete spoke out against what he said. So he's only speaking the truth. It aged well. It
definitely aged well. I've heard that the J3As, they've had a meeting and they're trying to figure out on to how to have some type of mediation between them and the athletes, or how they could come to some solution that this doesn't keep happening. So whatever they're putting together, I hope is substantial enough to keep, because we all know Jamaicans, they love being Jamaican, but to what's being said, like one of the athletes said, me being Jamaican and having pride in my country doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't feed my family. It doesn't do those things, even if I get a gold medal. And I understand that immediately, because yes, you are a countryman, but then you are someone who is taking care of your family. You have a responsibility, whether you're the breadwinner in the whole family or you're the breadwinner of your nuclear family, being mom, dad, and the children. You know what I mean? Having pride doesn't pay the bills. You can't have a gold medal and then be eating porridge. That's not what you want to do.
You're right. And let's not say that these athletes are the pioneers of this situation, right? Because there are athletes out there before them who changed allegiance. There was an athlete that was named Jace.
Yeah, Jake.
Yeah, and he changed allegiance and he went to Turkey.
He did. I thought Jake's had to drive his stick shift car.
There you go. See?
I know Jake. Yeah, I know him personally. Yeah, I taught him how to drive a stick shift car. Yes, Jake's. I remember that.
Yeah, so, and I mean, I know Jake's situation might have been a little different because it was the fact of, at that time in the era when he was sprinting, it was almost like cannibalism, right? Because all the athletes were running fast. So how are you going to be able to pay all the sprinters to be able to be compensated correctly when you have so many sprinters who are running, right? So if you're a guy who's not getting that opportunity and you know that you're a 10-0, 10-1 kind of guy, maybe a 9-9 guy, and you went over to Turkey or wherever else, and they don't have that, they're going to open up the door and the checkbook for you. You know that. But let's talk about a list of athletes who did this throughout history, and we actually say, great job, great decision. First, we're going to start with the legendary Merlene Ottey. Merlene Ottey was a Jamaican athlete, and she changed her citizenship.
But they would say she did it later on when she wasn't able to still win medals. So I get that one. They would say and I think she married into Slovenia, like her husband's Slovenian or from Slovakia, one of those countries. I'm not sure. But she was older when she changed allegiance.
Okay, I can give you that. And I mean, there's, like I said, there's different reasons of changing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let's talk about Sasha Zoya. Sasha Zoya is out here, one of the great hurdlers on the scene right now, and he actually was Australian. Good day, mate. I'm heading over to France.
This is crazy, yeah, man. Yeah,
how do you take yourself to have an Australian accent? Then you over here talking like a French athlete as well. Like, hey, good day, we.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild.
But I didn't even know that. I had to do the research, and I didn't even know that he was Australian at first, and then he went over to France.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. And then our own Rai Benjamin, legendary Rai Benjamin, actually was from Antigua.
Yeah, but Antigua, they dissolved their like Olympic whatever. Because remember, Charandi used to run for Antigua. That's how he ended up running. Yeah, that's how he ended up running for the Netherlands.
Who did Daniel Bailey run for? I thought that was Antigua too, though.
Is
it? They dissolved it after that?
No, hold on. Is it Antigua?
No, Curacao. Charandi ran for Curacao.
No, there is no Curacao. There's another country, and I can't remember what it was, but Charandi ran for another country, and like it was I can't remember, but I remember he had no allegiance for like a year to someone, and then he chose the Netherlands because it was like Dutch, because they spoke Dutch down there too.
Okay.
I can't remember what it is, but it begins with an A. I can't remember if it was Antigua, but yeah, Daniel Bailey does run for Antigua. Now that you say that, yes. So I can't remember. I know somebody in the chat will let me know what it was. Chat, I appreciate when you guys give me the list, you know what I mean, and you guys let me know like what it is, like especially since our last pod when I was like Jeremy Werner. I was meaning Jeremy Werner gold medalist, and there were a few other gold medalists. I wasn't meaning athletes who's changed over and got silver or bronze medalists. I'm meaning changed over and went straight to gold medal status, not change over and you shook out and you were a bronze medalist or a silver medalist. That's what I was meaning. And I see a lot of them, they inserted names to whoever got a silver or whatever, but there was like a thing new who was a gold medalist, and it was a few more, but some of the guys who you listed wasn't gold medalists. But that's what I was meaning, who won the NCAA and went straight to gold medal.
Went from being champion to champion.
Yes.
NCAA champion to world champion or whatever.
Yes. Yeah, and I think one of them, there was like Julian. In her first year, she wasn't, in 2023, she wasn't the world champion. She didn't win no. So that's what I was saying, because it was like Julian, and I was like, nah, Julian wasn't one of them.
When did she win indoors? When did Julian win? She went indoors, right?
But in our sport, the bigger thing is outdoors. So that's what I was meaning. I wasn't meaning an indoor title. I was meaning Julian didn't transfer from her she came out in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she went from 2023 and she wasn't the world champion. Next year, you see what I'm saying? So I was meaning in that same year. So a lot of them, some of them got it wrong, some of them got it right. You know what I mean? But that's what I was meaning.
I love the list though. I love
the list.
It takes you back down memory lane. So a couple more athletes who did this, it changed their allegiance. Where here's one that I find very, I want to say funny, but funny because he went from Kenya to Team USA. Bernard Lagat.
Oh yeah, listen. They used to run him into the ground, boy. They used to box him in. Them Kenyans, they used to box him. You want to leave, boy? You want to? We will show you. But he would always turn up with the win. Nice guy, by the way. I love Bernard Lagat, man. Great guy.
Great guy, man. Till this day, great guy, man.
Great guy.
Pedro Pablo Pritchard, from Cuba to Portugal.
Okay.
Yep, triple jumper.
Yeah, you have a few more that's notable. You have, what's the name from Trinidad? Karan Clement. Trinidad, USA.
Trinidad to USA, exactly. And then Jordan Diaz went from Cuba to Spain. So
this is true
as well. So
Oh.
there's a lot of people who are out there who pay for play, and it might be because of circumstances that put them in a better situation and be able to showcase their athleticism. But for whatever the reason is, I think that we shouldn't be up in arms with cunts like that. Yes, I understand that country pride is on the line, but we're also talking about professional athletes who are getting paid to be able to compete. Like if this is the NFL or the NBA, right? We see these athletes get traded, get bought out, do whatever. And, you know, now you sign a lot of these athletes taking control of their own career and their power and going out there and finding what's the best situation for them. So I'm going to play in the favor of the athlete in this situation. Y'all go get your bag and y'all go ball out.
I remember what country it was for Charandi. It was the Antilles.
Antilles.
It was the Antilles. They dissolved their thing, and he had no country for a while. And then he ended up running. He ended up running for the Netherlands.
Gotcha.
I know it began with an A. I was like, nah, it wasn't Antigua. Yeah, man. But shoot. You even we have one doing it right now with the changing of allegiance. Sawa Inasar. She's Nigerian. She's not from Bahrain. She's Nigerian. She's Nigerian.
Exactly. And she changed early. She changed early in her career. Yep.
She did. Francis Obukwelu to Portugal.
He did. Exactly. So this is not something new. We've seen athletes do this. And he went out to win a silver medal after he didn't change his allegiance. He won a silver medal at the Olympics in 2004 with me as Portugal. So
yeah. Listen, I think the athletes are motioning to move forward with a country giving them money or giving them what they need. Especially in Francis Obekwelu's situation, he was able to assert himself to that silver medal because he had resources. You know what I mean? Some of the Jamaican field athletes felt like they didn't get resources or the backing from Jamaica to really, you know what I mean, do what they feel like they needed to do. So that was their gripe. That was their thing. They didn't feel supported. So, but I'm glad that they're having the conversations now. The conversations is now sparked all over the Caribbean. I hear a lot of federations are now having conversations with the athletes because of what's happening, because the athletes are thinking about themselves. They're like, hey, look, man, I love this pride thing and running for this flag, but listen, if this country comes, this is what I'm going to do. So I heard all the federations in the Caribbean. I don't know what's happening all over the world, but I know in the Caribbean, a lot of talking is happening between these federations in the Caribbean.
Crazy time, dog. Crazy time. You know, these European countries, they're over there licking their chops. They're like, ooh.
They're like, yeah, man, come in. We gonna help you do whatever you need.
I'm
Give you a house, give you a car, and then if the Swiss get involved, man, the Swiss gonna buy everybody.
I'm surprised Japan ain't out there buying athletes.
Swiss will be like, we got this gold bar for you. What's up?
So now, audience, we're going to do a little segment, add some more flavor to the Ready, Set, Go. And we've told you that we have a Discord channel that you can also catch us at, talk to us, converse with us, and we're going to be on there more frequently than we've been. And I think that we're going to start doing a showcase, and we're going to start breaking down athletes that are in our Discord, their races, youth athletes, young athletes. They don't got to be professionals or anything like that. And they send in videos to show who they are, what they need to work on, and just help me, give me some tips. So we're going to start off with one of our members on our Discord, Jack, the Jackass. That is his handle.
That's his handle.
The Jackass.
That is that. We read it exactly how it is.
Can you please, Jack says, can you please give me the best workouts to help with my last 40 in the 100 meters? I feel like I slow down a ton and just can't hold my speed very well. My PR is 11:30, and in this race, it was 11:63. What can I do to be better? Right? So in this race we're watching, he gets second place. And you want to take over, Coach? Walk through what he has, and I'll cap it off.
I definitely think that his acceleration could be a whole lot better. We definitely always speak to how he transition. I definitely think that he could stay forward a lot more. He gets into a fully upright position. I don't like the fully upright position or almost in a lean back position because I feel like it puts stress on the hamstrings. I like a little bit of a forward lean to where you can use gravity to kind of propel you forward, where you're using the hamstring to recoil rather than to pull you forward. So definitely I would work on your form a little bit better. Your arm swing is a little far out, especially later in the race. I would probably ask you to pull your arms a little bit closer to the face because they're a little bit far out. But the transition and your acceleration, you accelerate very well, but you go stale for that last 40 meters. A workout that I feel like could work on that is maybe some overspeed, you know what I mean? With a pulley, where you have somebody pulling you with a bungee cord for 30 meters, for a full 60 meters, where they pull you for 30 and you accelerate through the 60, or something like a 3 times 120 type of workout to try to help you with over distance, running a little over the distance so you can press towards. I don't know, you want to tack on anything else, Justin?
Yeah. I mean, kind of going into where Jack is at his last half of his race. How you said earlier, he's kind of too far out, right? He's out here to where he could bring it in just a little closer. And I feel like he's arm blocking, right? So he's not allowing to get natural full range of motion. So you're not seeing his arm come back here. It's stopping here at his body. You understand? So he needs to get full range of motion up here and then come all the way through back to the front, right? And not out here, but up here closer. I'm not a fan of running, as erect as he's running. Pause. But I think that if he works on, like you said, some more 120 runs, some more 150 runs, some 110s. Also work on your fly. You can do 80 meter, 60 meter flies. That's going to help you with your top end speed and finishing the race stronger. I think it's a mental block for you as well. I'm watching that race and you're stepping down at the 50 meter mark. You're running top. You're in competition mode. And for whatever reason, once you get about that 10 meters before the finish line, it's like you just shut off because you think that you're not going to do well in that area of your race. So what you can do is you can put a cone out there, and that cone, as you do your workouts, is going to be an indicator that I need to finish through the line. No matter if you're running a 150, 120, 110, 100 meters, put a cone 20 meters before the finish line, and you keep remembering to run through that cone all the way through the finish line. That's your attack zone. Okay. So you got to do those kind of things. You got to prepare yourself. Don't just go out there and run when the gun goes off. You have to strategize and have a race strategy prepared to go out there and win.
To piggyback on what Justin said, the last 20 meters is what we call the critical zone. That's where most elite races are run, in that last 20 meters. Who could maintain their form the best and not break apart. So you definitely, when you put that cone out there, you want to work the last 20 meters of every run. So try to be as fast and attack even more going through that last 20 meters. So he's definitely correct.
Yeah, it is. So, hey, Jack the Jackass, go out there, get your stuff together, man. Go into training. And even if whoever's coaching you isn't really into buying into the philosophy, there's a lot of things you can do on your own, right? So, and that comes with preparation and warm up. If you're doing like your warm up runs and you're in your spikes doing your warm up runs, use your shoe or whatever water bottle as an indicator that you would use as a cone, and put it at that 20 meter mark or put it at that 50 meter mark. And then that's telling you that I need to kick up a gear right there. You're teaching your body and your nervous system where it needs to shift that gear. So when you're in a race, it naturally will start shifting that gear around that same place. You don't need a shoe or water bottle to indicate in those times, but you have to be prepared over and over and over again in practice to get the results you're looking for in competition.
100%. And for everybody submitting videos, listening to this, you have to be a member of our Discord to submit videos. Don't just submit videos. Be a member. Join our Discord. We love you guys.
Because Rod, the bearded one is going to verify. He's going to check if you're part of that group.
Oh, I'm going to check. Yeah, man. But shoot, we thank you guys so much for being a part of our show. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. But until next time, join us on Ready, Set, Go.
Go.